Ryan Day is college football's best quarterback developer. And I really don't think it's even close. And it's not just because of my Ohio State biases. I think it's the fact and the proof is in the pudding. Let me explain what I mean. I've got a couple examples for you today. I got some stats I want to run by you. I want to have this debate because I've been watching Lincoln Riley and USC very closely the last couple years. And I think what he was doing in Oklahoma when he had those string of Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks could have been equated to what's going on at Ohio State with Ryan Day, but wasn't for some reason. And now it's about to happen. But Ryan Day's been doing this since day one when he came to Columbus, Ohio. And I've got the proof to show you. Since Ryan Day's got to Ohio State, he's worked with JT Barrett, Dwayne Haskins as a quarterback coach and offensive coordinator. As a head coach, he's worked with Justin Fields, CJ Stroud, Kyle McCord, Will Howard, and now Julian Sain. So since 2017, so 17 through 2025, Ryan Day in those 8 years has worked with 7 different guys in I guess 9 years. Yeah, 9 seasons. This is ninth season. 7 different guys in 9 seasons as the starting quarterback at Ohio State. During that time, Ohio State has 7 of their top 10 seasons in passing yards under Ryan Day's direction. 7 of the top 10. And it's about to be 8 of the top 10 when Julian Saint's done with this season. The only season that Ryan Day at the helm working with a quarterback didn't have a top 10 passing season in the history of Ohio State, the 125 years history and more of Ohio State football was the COVID year, which was shortened by X amount of games. So you throw the COVID year out, every single year Ryan Day's been at the helm or working with a quarterback at Ohio State, they have a top 10 passing season. There's some things that go into that. I understand that beyond just Ryan Day. You have a change in philosophy. You have a new offense. You're playing more games now with extended CFP. I get that, but that's still impressive. There's no other school that I'm aware of that can boast that right now. Number 2, top 6, all top 6 seasons for touchdown passes have come under the direction of Ryan Day. All 6 of them. That's incredible. Again, 7 of the top 10 seasons for passing yards and the top 6 seasons for touchdown passes all have come under the direction of a quarterback under Ryan Day. Statistically, that is incredible. And again, I understand offense has changed. We're putting more emphasis on passing. We've got better wide receivers collectively than we've ever had before at Ohio State, although I would still argue that we had some doggone good ones in the 90s. And how do you not recognize Cris Carter? So I understand that, but collectively, the wide receiver room has never been greater than it's been in the last, let's just call it 6, 8 years. Again, working hand in hand with Brian Hartline and Ryan Day, working hand in hand together on that offense, obviously, goes hand in hand. So I understand those things, but still, you would think he wouldn't consistently have this continued success, which is just incredible. Lincoln Riley cannot boast that. Lincoln Riley statistically cannot look at who he's worked with and the time frame he's worked with and say, yeah, I have those exact same statistic numbers wise. He can't say those things. Ryan Day can. Now, I have a couple clips, also audio clips I want you to listen to. Yesterday during the press conference, questions about Julian Sain. Ryan Day went into a little bit of coach speak. And I was blown away. Now, I'm not a quarterback guru. I don't claim to be, okay? So, I didn't play quarterback in high school. I didn't, I'm not Uncle Rico over here saying, man, if coach would have put me in, we would have won state. I watch a lot of football. I see a lot of bad quarterback play. Stuff you don't see Ohio State do. But these answers that he gave to some of these questions during the press conference yesterday were incredibly insightful. I need to share them with you. Listen to this first one. Great question by Bill Landis, by the way.
Right. You talked a lot last year about Will Howard's size and how that helped him in the pocket, feeling things, seeing things. Julian seems to do that very well too, despite not being 6'4" and 230 pounds. Like, how does he do it? I guess one, like, do you think he's good at it, and two, like, how does he go about doing it when he is, not the biggest quarterback in the world?
Well, it starts with the line. They have to do their job because if that doesn't happen, it doesn't work. And I thought Julian played bigger the last couple of weeks. So what does that mean, playing bigger? Well, part of it's your posture, how you stand in the pocket. But for him, I think he sees the coverage. He can feel the rush, which is not something that you can teach. He just has that feel, and has a good feel and timing of when the ball needs to come out of his hands. But I think the receivers understand too that they're running routes against the defensive line, and that's a big part of the timing and the spacing that comes with the game. And so we try to match up the drops and the play actions with the protection. And the firmer the protection can be, the better he can step into his passes. But then that has to marry up with the timing of the route as well, and that's all the work that gets put in. So that's why we say it takes everybody. But for Julian in particular, I think he's playing with better posture. He's feeling more comfortable with the trees around him, is what I call it. And his elbow is getting high. He did get the ball tipped there that Jeremiah bailed him on. But those are the things that we're talking about, is being able to see over the offensive line and playing big. I think he's been doing that, and he's going to continue to work on it.
Posture, his elbow, playing big. These are all things you hear quarterback, coaches and quarterback gurus talk about. The next one, he goes into even more, and he talks about a thing called spatial awareness, which we'll get to that in just a second. But his posture is important. Ryan Day was not a huge quarterback himself. Man played the position, played it successfully, taught it, coached it in the NFL even. He knows what he's doing. And he's able, I think, to teach the position on a level that's much greater than most football coaches are able to do, in my opinion. I thought that was an incredibly interesting answer when questioned about, look, he's in Julian Sain's, out of all your quarterbacks, he's not Dwayne Haskins, he's not Kyle McCord, he's not big like Will Howard, like Bill Landis just said there. And Ryan Day's like, yeah, but he's got great posture. He's keeping his elbow up. He's got great pocket awareness. Creating angles. In Marriott with the protection and the routes that are being ran, like three-dimensional chess stuff. That's the first one. Let me play for you the second clip that I think when I heard this, it just blew me away, man, because I'm thinking Ryan Day's playing three-dimensional chess while everybody else is playing checkers. Listen to this.
Ryan, back to Julian. The deep balls that he throws, it looks easy. Obviously, it's not. He's talked about everything that has to happen around him to make that work. But what, as a guy who played the position, what makes a deep ball work from a quarterback perspective? Yeah. Why is he maybe as good as anyone else?
Yeah, well, again, to say that, remember the first year we got in, JT was maybe struggling a little bit with the deep balls. We spent a lot of time working on that. And I remember that year, like so much of the work that we put in was his footwork, making sure that it was 3 with a big hitch, and on that hitch the ball was being thrown. The depth, the eye contact with the receivers, the location, the coaching. Like each throw has its own feel to it, and a big part of it's the receivers. How they're running the route, where they're going, how they track it, how they play the ball, right? But I don't think, it takes a genius to figure out that the kid has tremendous anticipation and touch and a strong arm. And so when you stop the film and you see where the receiver is, and then where the ball is completed, you're talking about probably 30 yards where he's got to pick a small area of the field where that ball has to land, and that's just something that you really can't teach. He's got a great feel for it. It's called spatial awareness. Understanding how a receiver is going to run his route, and then being on the same page. Now it takes time. You don't just like wake up and do it. I mean, a lot of work that goes into it, a lot of preparation, and that's another thing that I talk to our guys about. Like I think sometimes people just think we go out and play and the Buckeyes are just going to win a game. It doesn't work that way. The amount of work that gets put in on a week-to-week basis to go put that on the field, to be a competitive excellence, you got one chance to get that throw right against that single coverage. And if you don't, who knows what happens? And that's what you have to realize. And if you think it's just going to happen and we're going to show up and just win games, that ain't happening either. So we have to continue to practice really, really well. It's the coach's job to put the plays in to give these guys a chance to be successful, and find the right plays that fit the defense that we're seeing, and then we go play from there and continue to stay focused. So, long-winded answer, but hopefully that gives you a little idea of what goes into just some of this stuff. But at the end of the day, he has a tremendous innate talent to throw a deep ball.
It's so good. The more I hear Ryan Day talk about the quarterback position, the better I can understand it. Because he's so good at explaining the nuances of playing quarterback. And he brought up JT Barrett there, which was 9 seasons ago, like we said. And I went back and I looked at JT's stats again. From his 4 years at Ohio State as a starter, redshirt freshman year 2014, played up until the game against the team up north, got injured, and of course we went on to win a national championship. 2015, split the season with Cardale Jones. 2016, his junior year, kind of felt like he regressed. Statistically, it showed he did. 2017, by far, statistically, his best season as a Buckeye, including his most touchdown passes, most yards, highest completion percentage, most completions, second most attempts. He had his best year, in my opinion, by far, his senior year as a passer under Ryan Day, as his quarterback's coach and offensive coordinator. And then, like I said, Dwayne Haskins, Justin Fields, C.J. Stroud, Kyle McCord, Will Howard, Julian Sain. And I can hear some of you saying, why are you throwing Kyle McCord in there? I'm going to make a statement, and a lot of people are going to disagree with this statement, and that's fine. If Kyle McCord wouldn't have left Ohio State, he'd be still on an NFL roster right now. I believe that. I think another year of development with Ryan Day would have seriously aided in his potential to be a better quarterback, a professional quarterback. But we get to throw Will Howard's name in there, and he's a national champion winning quarterback, so I'm not complaining. I'm just making a general statement that I think Kyle could have really benefited from a second year of development as a starter under Ryan Day. And let's not forget, Kyle McCord was 11-1 as a starter at Ohio State. It's not like Kyle McCord was a bad quarterback. And yes, I know he went on to Syracuse and he broke a bunch of records at ACC because he threw the ball 100 gazillion times, but he also had more interceptions, I think, than just about any quarterback in college football last year. So there's that too, which would have never happened under Ryan Day. Ever. Never. Because like he said, you got to make the routine things routinely. And when you have Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate and Brandon Ennis and Max Clare, and Will Case-Merrick, and you got these weapons that you have, just got to get the football to them in step, in time. And that's his main job. He's a point guard. We all love Aaron Craft at Ohio State in basketball, right? Point guard, Aaron Craft. We are watching the Aaron Craft of the football team right now, and Julian Sain being able to get the ball to the playmakers, assists, if you will, all over the place. He's the John Stockton for your 90s NBA reference for everybody. Oh, was it Mark Price from the Cavs back in the day? Anyways, what we're watching and witnessing and being blessed by is a quarterback guru who happens to also be the CEO of our program, our favorite team, our beloved school. And oh, yeah, he's excelling at that now, too, as well. So not only is he a quarterback guru and he's the best quarterback coach in college football, he's quickly becoming the best head coach in college football as well. Let me know what you think about what I think down in the comment section below. Please do not forget to like the video, hit the thumbs up, everybody. And of course, please consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already. Have a great day. We will have our Ohio State versus Purdue big preview available for you tonight right here on YouTube. Go check out Patreon. What Drives Me Wilds, Chris Wilds' video is going to be dropping today, as well as episode 2 of Mika's very own podcast, The Illuminati, over on Patreon. Go check those out, everybody. Please, if you love what we do here at the OHL Podcast and you want to help us continue to grow, the easiest and best way to do that is to go over to Patreon, become a member, and get all that extra great content and hang out with us over there. It only costs you $5 a month. We'll see you over on Patreon, everybody.